Okay, so this video is for anybody that owns an LR3 and has problems with the front sending unit for the fuel. In my case, I thought it was the rear sending unit, so I went ahead and went to the junkyard, pulled the whole rear fuel pump from a Range Rover or Land Rover LR3, and I thought I did a huge mistake, and I thought I was gonna have to run back over there and go get the front sending unit. But I started thinking about the floaters and how they read. And if you look at the part numbers on this, when it focuses, so on the top, the patent number is 39C1, and the bottom numbers is 1805. So this is a front sending unit. So this is when you take it apart from the floater. It looks like this. So now this is the rear sending unit. So I took this apart and I decided to look at the part number as well. So the part number is 39C1 1805. So this is the same part number, 637. So the way they work is, and everything is the same here, length, everything right here is the same. And so the way it works, it has a magnet, and every time the floater moves, it'll read on here, sticking on there. So that's another important part. So when you change these, obviously you got to keep everything the same from the front of the sending unit. So the reason for that is because geometry is different. So this floater, for example, is more just straightforward. It has a little curve right here, and that's it for the front sending unit. So for the rear, the last thing you want to do is just put a rear floater in the front, if it even works out. But you see how different the geometry is on this. This is not going to work. So don't put the rear floater on the front sending unit. Also, when taking this apart, I don't know if you can see this right here. You can see this is the little hole where the magnet sits. So if you go under, there's no magnet in there right now. So when you take this apart, be really careful. So to put this all back together, and I tested this and it worked. So I took it back apart and just to show you guys. So the way this works is you get this, you put it back over, just like that. And then you get this tiny magnet. So once the magnet is dropped in there, I don't know if you can focus it on there or not. There it goes. This rotates left and right. See that? You can hear it. Obviously it'll be more smooth as well when there's fuel inside there. But anyway, you hold that together. You grab this part, and then you'll see this right here too. It'll say front when it focuses. Well, anyway, it says front right there, if you can see it or not. And the other one says rear, but that doesn't matter. Just take it apart and then replace it with this. This is the only part you need to replace. If you have soldering skills or moderate soldering skills, this won't be harder for you at all. You get this, put it back in here carefully. You hold this down, work this in here. Once it's in there, it'll line up. Make sure this turns around smoothly. Oops. Smoothly. Once it's in there, snap, snap, and it's in. And now you have a front working sending unit. So to take this apart, I didn't go over that, but maybe you and a friend can go with that. I did it on my own, but it'd be easier with two people. So if someone gets something slim, maybe like a pick or even just a smaller flathead, and pry this up, and that's going to put pressure against this clip. And as soon as it does that, unclip this side and then move the flathead towards this side, unclip this side, work your way over to here, unclip, unclip. Once this unclips from the bottom, the last clips are right here. So you pull this clip to the left and then you pull this clip to the right, and it'll all pop off. Again, just remember not to lose that little magnet. That's the only little critical piece in there that is easy to lose. And for the rear sending unit, the reason you need to solder new wires on there is, well, from the old wires, is because the front sending unit goes all the way to the front of the fuel tank. And if you look at the front sending unit wires, they're originally longer than the rear sending units. And it's done purposely to reach the fuel pump since it travels a longer distance. So you will need to solder the old front sending unit wires. And another important part is the connector. You need to keep the original connector because this lines up to the fuel pump for the front sending unit. Each connector is different. Keep that in mind. To open these, you basically get a flathead, pry this up right here, pry this up right here, and this will flip open like a cover. So this is the rear sending unit. So this is the color of this one. And once you pop this open, you're going to be able to see the pins exposed, and with, I don't know, with a little pick tool or just a little flathead, wiggle them around and you'll be able to pull them out. Remember to keep the same orientation. So for example, green is on the side that says 8. There's a number 8 right there. Green is going to the 8. So just keep that in mind. I don't know, just for reference if you have trouble remembering or something like that, or take a picture. And once that's done, you're done. And I'm going to show you a video right now of how to install it. People say it's impossible, but it's possible. I already tested it. Like I said, I only pulled this just to show and make this video because there's probably not a lot of information on there to do this, or even any information probably possible to do this. So hopefully this helps a lot of you out. So this is for the front sending unit. Anybody claiming that they can't reach it is bullshit. And this is a video showing it. This is for a 2005 LR3. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but it's possible. So you gotta get this guy in there first. Turn it, maneuver it, and then keep in mind that these clips right here are facing towards you. So in other words, it would be like this. Okay, once it's in there, you gotta push that more in there, and then you gotta maneuver your hand. And then once you're inside, you feel to the right and you're gonna feel almost like a rail. Just follow it with the clip and then push forward with pressure against it, and you're gonna feel it snap in. Once you feel it snap in, it's good. You're done. Possible. Alright, before used to read no gas. Stuck down here. Common amber light. Always on empty. Playing guessing games, well, at least ever since I purchased it. Switch to ignition on. There you go. Transmission fault, I don't know. It's having communication issues. I gotta figure that one out too. Brake, this is the brake pads. One thing at a time. Range 137 miles. Drove it up and down about 15 to 20 miles already yesterday after the repair. It's actually reading. One thing I didn't mention is when you put it in, you got to make sure the sensors, well, floaters, are pointing in the direction the same way you took them out. Repair isn't that bad. If you're mechanically inclined, it shouldn't be that bad. If you got some soldering skills, it shouldn't be that bad either. Anyway, good luck to any of you trying to figure that out. Hopefully this is a solution for some of you. Some of you might not like it and might just want to go replace the whole tank. Easier for some of you. For me, I was able to figure it out. It wasn't too big of a deal, but everyone has their own way. Either or, good luck. But anyway, I'm glad that issue's taken care of. I can actually read my mileage and not do some math and try to calculate how much gas I got left. I'm happy I was able to resolve the issue. Hopefully this video helps some of you out trying to figure it out. I know there's not a lot of information on changing this front sending unit except replacing the whole gas tank. And most of the forums that I kept reading, they were saying it wasn't possible. It actually is possible. And maybe if you don't have such a long arm or your forearm is way too big, you probably might be needing to replace a gas tank. Or maybe you have a buddy that can stick their hand in there and you can guide them on how to do the whole process. Good luck. I'm happy I was able to make this video, and hopefully it helps some of you out with the front sending unit with your LR3s. I'm barely getting used to these cars. It's my second one. I have a L322 parked right over there next to the GTO. That was a project for 2 months. It's up and running now, and this is the next one. And yes, those wires weren't repaired in the best way at the time when I was doing the video, but it was a raw video. Like I said, as soon as I connected the sending unit and the rear sending unit, well, the front and rear sending unit, and put it all back together, I estimated, because the sensors have to kind of level out the same, I leveled them out almost identical and ran to the car, turned the ignition just to the on position, and right away it read. I was excited, ran inside, went ahead and made a video, and I was super stoked. And as soon as I did the video, cut it all out, I was like, nah, I gotta take this apart. There's no way I'm gonna leave this in the gas tank like that and have some type of problem later down the road, which probably won't last me more than 6 months or maybe even a year with some cheap crimping job. So instead I took apart the wires, everything from the sensor all the way to the connectors, and I replaced the wire. I soldered on to the sensor a whole new red wire, and actually both of them are red wires, and I guess it doesn't matter for me since I know the differences. But I did it the safe way in case there was any other corrosion or anything inside those wires. I just went ahead and replaced them. But anyway, good luck to all of you. And there's a little bit more info on the front sending unit.